What is up, everybody? Listen, Sixers obviously catch the L, but they catch the L on an amazing shooting night from a god, basically, from three. Steph Curry ends the night with 49 points. Insanity. The guy just, Sixers lose 107-96 versus Golden State. I'm with my boys, Tiago at T-Scabby on Twitter. I got my man Chris, a.k.a. Dibes, at Mr. Crockpot on Twitter. Interesting game. I'll start with you, Mr. Crockpot. How'd you feel about this one?
Tough game for the Philadelphia 76ers, man. This game was really fun to watch, and pretty much until the end there. You looked at the first quarter tie game, 24-24. You look at the second quarter tie game, 55-55, 75-70 at the end of the third quarter. I think the true difference in this game was really at that 3-minute mark with 4 minutes, or in that fourth quarter. The Warriors were up 1 point at the 3-minute mark. And after a timeout, that play call with Embiid, where he just chucked up a three-pointer fadeaway shot, was absolutely horrendous. Then what follows after that? A Steph Curry three-pointer, Embiid, bad pass to Matisse Thybulle for a turnover, Andrew Wiggins fast break bucket, Embiid travels, Steph Curry three-pointer. It was just an 8-point swing that was truly the main difference in this game. The Warriors went on a 13-3 run in the last 3 minutes of this game. Curry had 10 of those points. This was the Steph Curry show. We're all witnesses.
How about you, Tiago?
Yes, we are. As Sixers fans, you hate to see it. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those games you just got to have to sit back and just enjoy greatness. You know, Steph, I'm going to make this mistake a lot tonight. Steph is one of those historic runs, man. It seemed like every minute of that broadcast, they flashed some sort of like stat record he was breaking real time. So you just kind of tip your hat off to him. The guy is the greatest shooter in NBA history, and we saw the reason why tonight. That being said, I thought that the Sixers made it really, really easy on him in the fourth quarter. And we can talk about the lineup combinations. We can talk about how they defend him in the perimeter. But the fact of the matter is, you know, the guy was just going off, man. There was not a lot you can do about that. You know, we missing your best defender. You know, Ben Simmons, maybe you like to think that would have some sort of impact on tonight's outcome. But at the end of the day, you tip your hat off to Steph and Golden State Warriors. I also thought that one more thing. I thought that Draymond Green not getting that fifth foul was huge because he's a really tough defender. He did get it? Okay.
Yeah, he got the fifth foul because actually I thought this was funny. No, you're good. Yeah. He got the fifth foul right towards the end on Joel. And it was hilarious because he looked over at the bench. If anybody here wasn't watching, he fouled Joel when Joel was going up in the paint to shoot it. And as soon as he did it, he looked over at his own bench, at the coaching staff, and said, "That's why I don't do that." That's the first thing he said because they obviously said to him some way to guard Embiid. They told him to do something in the paint. And he literally looked at them, yelled, "That's why I don't do that," and just was pissed because he got his fifth foul when, you know, he probably was doing something uncharacteristically.
Yeah, but we can talk about his offense. It's like falling off a cliff, but defensively, he's still a top defensive player, man. Like he was anchoring down on Joel Embiid and making some phenomenal defensive plays. He's the reason why that team is so good defensively. So, you know, it's 2/3 of the big three they had out there, man. It's tough to beat them when they're on like that.
They did a really good job of challenging Embiid down low, especially early on in that game. Their help defense was absolutely suffocating on Joel. Man, how many blocks did they have on Joel Embiid in this game? I'm like EEC says, that's one of the other main takeaways. Their plan of attack against Joel Embiid was really good tonight.
And it starts with just one more thing. Like, it starts with just how they play him. So you got Mike Scott on the court. I mean, Draymond is not even looking at Mike Scott. He's out there hedging to Embiid. He made it really tough for Embiid to get in his face-up game and get to the rim and get to the paint. That's why you saw him do a lot of passing tonight and do a lot of perimeter shooting. You know, it's a lineup combinations, and it's just they're great defensive players, man. Like, he's such a smart player. It's impressive to watch.
It was a really tough game because, like, I thought for 90% of this game, Embiid looked terrific handling the double team. I thought that this was like one of the best games of the year in terms of Embiid making the smart pass, being decisive with the ball, and the Sixers executing on the perimeter until the last 3 minutes.
Because one of the issues that I saw in general in the fourth was the spacing, and a lot of that to me has to do with Tobias Harris not being in the game. Because you don't have Tobias in there at the 4. Instead, you have Mike Scott. Obviously, I forget who just said it, but one of you guys said it. You said that they basically could just sink off of Mike and they didn't even care about him. To me, that was a big deal towards the end of the fourth for Joel not having that spacing there. I think also the reason why that the spacing was working throughout most of the game, or at least the beginning of the game, was because people were hitting their shots. Curry was hot. Korkmaz was hitting. Everyone was hitting. Korkmaz ended 2 for 7 from 3. Curry ended 3 for 7 from 3, which realistically isn't bad. But when you also have George Hill, who goes 1 for 5, you also have Shake Milton, who goes 1 for 7. You're not going to, with your guard play shooting that poorly throughout the rest of the game, you're not going to beat a team that is Steph Curry shooting 10 for 17 from 3. On, I think, how many shots did I say he had earlier? He had 28 on 28 shots, scored 49 points.
Wow.
28 shots, 49 points.
You can't change 2 for 3s. Just simple math, man. You can't exchange 2 for 3s. That's what the game turned out in the fourth quarter. They're hitting 3s. You got to come back with something else other than 2s and turnovers. So,
and you also can't exchange 3s for being in the crowded space. I think it makes sense. And I really do think the biggest difference to me is Tobias Harris.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You look at how good this team has been in clutch situations. Tobias is right there with Ben and Joel and Danny and Seth. That is another kind of my segue into why the Sixers struggled offensively. They're missing Tobias in that last 3 minutes. They're missing Tobias. It's clear as night and day how important Tobias is offensively for the Sixers in that situation. So we have MVP Curry. He made a statement, man. He made a statement, no doubt.
Something I wanted to say that I thought was funny during the game was the announcers on ESPN said that Dwight Howard is a really good backup center. He has the most rebounds of a bench player in the whole league. And I really wanted to tweet out, Dwight Howard has the most rebounds of all bench players in the league, but also has the most technical fouls of any NBA player in the league. I really wanted to say that really bad.
Can I just make one point on the MVP Curry thing?
Yeah.
When did the MVP award become just an offensive award?
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's a historic offensive player, but his team is barely at 500. And defense matters, man. You can't just be tweeting out, MVP Curry all the time. The guy plays subpar to poor defense. You can't just ignore that part of the court. I feel like the MVP award just turns into an Offensive Player of the Year award, which is fine. I get it. Offense drives wins, but you can't ignore both ends. And if you watch the other end of the court, he gives up a ton of drives, a ton of opportunities. It's not that black and white.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference with, and I agree with you. I think the biggest thing with Curry and why it's such a big thing right now is because in past years where he's had Klay Thompson there, he's had KD there, or had Harrison Barnes, or had his posse with him, and he's been playing this well.
Yeah.
In the past few years with the injuries, he hasn't played well with this. So I think it's dramatized more now, just because he is playing well and Klay's still not there. So I think it's dramatized more because no one expected it after seeing what happened last year when Klay was out for most of the year.
Absolutely. Yeah,
How do you guys feel about this question? Because for the majority of this game, Seth was guarding Steph, and you look at Danny Green defending Steph Curry, 53 possessions, last 6 games, 26 points, 9 of 13. Sorry, that's George Hill. 70 possessions is the last 8 games. Steph Curry, when defended by Danny Green, 15 points, 4 of 15 from the field. You look at Matisse Thybulle holding opponents to 42% from the field over the last 10 games. I was shocked that we saw so much Seth Curry on Steph Curry. I don't know about that, guys. We saw a little bit of George Hill. Matisse defended Steph Curry very little. I don't know. What do you guys think about Doc's decision-making there with just having it the Steph and Steph show? I didn't like that.
So the only reason I can understand it is because I specifically remember watching the playoff series between Portland and Golden State. And Seth actually guarded him pretty well at times during that series. The only thing is I really feel like they were like, okay, well, we have other options, but we're also missing a lot of our length in Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris on the perimeter. So Matisse Thybulle has to take up guys like Kelly Oubre and Andrew Wiggins because realistically, who else is going to stick them? Mike Scott? Furkan Korkmaz? No. So it's like I feel like it seemed to me like they were trying to stick those kind of guys more on the lengthier players for most of the game. I don't know. Go ahead.
Yeah. At what point, though, in bucket number 20, do you make the adjustment? I mean, the guy's literally about to win the game, and you still keep Seth Curry out there, for the decoration. I mean, I thought that between them not taking out Seth Curry on Steph, them not hedging Embiid up closer and trapping Curry to make sure that he passed the ball because he had 6 turnovers tonight. So he made a ton of mistakes when the Sixers applied pressure on him. It became very easy for Curry to, come off the screen, go up in rhythm and hit the shot. In that moment, you want guys who are long like Matisse who can come over the top and kind of, tap the ball or contest the shot and have perhaps Embiid come up and apply more pressure. They did none of that for like 5 straight possessions. And
that's what I noticed. That was my main thing is the hedging that Joel started doing. So I agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
I do think Danny and Matisse did pretty well. I mean, they did all they could against Steph tonight. But I kept waiting for the switch. I kept waiting, and sure enough, less than 5 minutes, Seth is still defending Steph Curry. I don't understand.
I mean, he tried Thybulle early in the game, and Thybulle did a couple of those flying blocks where Curry kind of pump fake and he went flying. So I think Doc perhaps lost faith that Thybulle could defend him and stay disciplined. But man, it was tough to watch because Curry had no chance. He's too short. He's not fast enough. He can't react. These were open buckets. So I didn't think that Doc did a really good job closing the game out tonight.
And this is my concern too, because we saw it against the Nets with Kyrie. The Sixers don't have a guy that can put pressure on the other end. You have Kyrie held the Sixers to 1 of 5 shooting. That's not good enough. You need someone offensively that can make Kyrie move more around the court. You look at tonight. This is a really good comment. We had some comments here of Steph. No one made Steph work defensively. Nobody. So that's a problem. That's a big problem.
Do you think if Ben Simmons is in this game and because with his combination of strength and length, do you think that makes a big difference?
Defensively, you're asking?
Yeah, defensively.
I think so. I think we saw Ben for instance, on Dame early in the year. Similar kind of type player, long shooting range, quick, not too big. And you saw how Ben's size really engulfed Lillard in that game. Again, not to say that, he could have held Curry to whatever, 10, 15 points. I'm not trying to say that, but it's definitely going to have an impact. Ben is one of the best perimeter defenders in the league. That's proven. And, they definitely missed him. But I just didn't think the Sixers applied enough pressure primarily to turn Curry into a passer. That was really the key because the Warriors do not have guys around them like Clay who can make you pay. So guys like Wiggins, Ken Bazemore, these guys are not going to kill you, man. So you have to adjust your scheme and let those guys beat you. And the Sixers didn't do that in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and I do want to make it clear that we're not saying that anyone is going to stop Steph Curry. We're not saying that. What we're saying is trying to figure out different ways that they may have been able to slow that down, may be able to change up his rhythm because it seemed like he was just getting in-rhythm shots the whole fourth quarter. And mind you, that was in part because of the great picks by Kevon Looney or Draymond Green. And Seth or George Hill, Danny Green, whoever was chasing them, just could not couldn't get around him at all. So that was the main issue there. But I do want to talk about Matisse Thybulle this game and just all around. Obviously, they lost, but I do want to talk about Matisse Thybulle's 13 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist. He went 6 for 11 from the field with a block and 3 steals. Now, I will say he's minus 17 on the night, which is not good, but they also lost. But to me, this is one of his best statistical games in a past like month probably. So what do you guys think about tonight's game? Also, the fact he got 31 minutes today.
Yeah, love it.
I mean, for me, it's a couple of things. So we talked about Joel getting double teamed hard tonight. And I thought Thybulle was one of the few players who cut with intention. So when you got 4 guys around Embiid, you want somebody's going to fill that space, catch the ball, and go up to the rim with it. And I thought Thybulle did a really good job of that. He's a great cutter. He has great awareness of how to fill the open space. His defensive instincts are at an all-time high. I mean, how he feels, when guys are going to go for a shot, ability to contest, block without committing a foul. That's phenomenal. And he's shooting the ball better, man. Like, if you look at his numbers after the All-Star game, he's shooting the ball much better. So these are all signs that are trending upwards for Matisse.
Yeah, this is it. I mean, this is exactly what we've been talking about here is I think this is probably right around what you're going to expect from Matisse Thybulle heading into the playoffs. 31 minutes. I think you can expect Matisse Thybulle to be around that 30 to 32 minutes range come playoff time. I thought he was awesome. Matisse Thybulle had several standout moments tonight. He had a steal that led to a 2-handed dunk. He blocked Kelly Oubre, then he took it to the rim on the other end. He stopped the bleeding at this part in the fourth quarter. I thought he made a pull-up J that really and then he stole the ball on the other end, literally the next play, and then passed it to Tyrese Maxey for a fast break bucket. Matisse Thybulle was absolutely everywhere, and that's what you want to see. That's what you want to see from a guy that is going to be so crucial with his length, with his instincts defensively against a team like the Nets, against a team like the Bucks that have length. Matisse Thybulle is so important to the Sixers moving forward, man. And I think you saw a glimpse of playoff Matisse here.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with you on that. And another player that kind of had an emergence tonight was Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey's offensively seemed pretty good tonight. 10 points with 2 rebounds, 5 for 9 from the field. He had some mid-range pull-ups. He had a few nice drives to the rim. Tiago's making some faces down there, so I want to hear what you has to say.
So Maxey's emergence is a good thing. There's no question about it. He's playing good basketball the last 2 games. But there's a reason why he has emerged, and that reason is bad, man, which is Shake Milton's play over the last couple of games. I mean, he has been absolutely atrocious, man. There's no other way to put how he's playing right now. He's not seeing the court well. He's dribbling into traffic. It's a disaster right now. And the Sixers have relied on Shake to do a lot of their scoring off the bench, a lot of it. And, games like tonight when you lose by 5, 6, 7 points, that's a difference between one of your bench performers showing up and not showing up. And that is the Shake Milton we've seen throughout the entire year. It's a guy who will play great, score 25 points, play in the fourth quarter, play acceptable defense, to a guy who's going to give you a big fat 0. And, now is not the time for Milton to play like this because there's a guy coming, George Hill, who –
and also with the fact that Korkmaz is playing out of his mind too.
Right. So you start wondering, how is Shake Milton going to find minutes playing the way that he is? And you're starting to see Maxey eat into his minutes, George Hill into his minutes. So he's got to find something here, man, because these last couple of games have been they've been really, really bad.
Really bad.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Shake is definitely shaking in his boots.
Yeah, I know. Tiago nailed it. It didn't feel that long ago that we were just praising Shake Milton for his recent play, but over the last stretch, man, it's been absolutely brutal. The main takeaway over last weekend of Sixers basketball has to be: does Furkan take Shake's minutes with George Hill coming in? You nailed it, Tiago. So that crushes them. That crushes them
Yeah.
in the catch and shoot. It crushes them as a secondary ball handler. It changes the entire offense coming off the bench. So there's so much pressure on George Hill coming into this team. I don't even know if he is aware how important his role is off the bench over these next 15 games here. So, gosh, I hope they get it right. I honestly do, but Shake is really struggling. And Furkan Korkmaz, if he keeps playing confidently like we're seeing him, I know, is a matchup nightmare against some teams here, top teams here in the Eastern Conference. But I don't know if Doc has a choice.
Yeah, and it's realistic. It's going to come down to whoever can space the court better. And because George Hill is obviously going to get a lot of those point guard minutes going into the playoffs. So whoever's spacing the court better is going to get those shots and those minutes. And if Shake isn't that consistent three-point shooter that we've seen over the past years and in his college days and his high school days, he's not going to have a spot on that team. As even though I do think he's a bit better of a defender than Korkmaz is, I don't think he's going to have a spot. It's just it's really going to depend.
I think the solution is, and I think what would be part of the solution is that in that second unit, you just give Ben Simmons the ball and you're like, listen, man, you got to go create. Like, it's just, you're the best player on the court. You know, we're not going to be running shake and pick and roll here because we've seen like the up and downs that can look. Listen, man, you got to dominate the other team's second unit in the postseason, you know, and you got to go out there and show you got. I mean, I feel like that's the best alternative the Sixers have to run offense when Embiid's off the floor. But you still would like to get maybe like 5 minutes from Shake in the postseason. I mean, I feel like, you know, if you get that could be the difference between giving somebody a breather here and there that can give them fresh for the fourth quarter. We saw when Embiid didn't have a backup against Toronto, right? He was exhausted. Yeah. He was exhausted by the end of that series. He had nothing left. You don't want guys like Ben Simmons, guy like Tobias Harris to have to play 38, 40 minutes a night because your backup point guard can't dribble the ball off his feet. I mean, it's like, it's insane. I mean, it's getting to a point where it's just like, what are we doing out here? So
I think the one take here is that Shake Milton does do well defending the pick and roll. 0.72 points per possession defense against the pick and roll, holding opponents to 38.7% from the field this season. So I know he needs to shoot better, but there it is.
Yeah.
I mean, like, listen, that's a great stat, and hopefully that matters in the end. But we just got realistically, I think they'd rather him be shooting better right now than be playing better perimeter defense, just because they do have a lot of guys right now who can play decent defense on the perimeter, especially when you have Ben and Danny and Tobias, who has been playing good perimeter defense as well. So we need him to shoot well, and to me, that's what it comes down to. Yeah. But do you guys have any more takeaways before we finish this one out?
I feel terrible for the fans tonight because I don't know if anybody got a Frosty. There were probably 5 or 6 times when they missed the first free throw, and you could hear them. I just felt terrible. Sorry, fans.
Kevon Looney was real close to getting one at I think at the beginning of the third, and just did not happen. Did not happen. Two losses for Philly sports tonight. The Phillies and the Sixers. So not a great night for Philadelphia. But how about you, Tiago? You have any more takes?
Don't worry, Philly. The NFL draft is coming. Everything.
Oh my goodness! All right, we gotta go. That's what we're looking forward to already. We gotta go.
I'm gonna be sweating, guys. This time next week.
My God.
We're gonna be doing a watch party. We're gonna.
Yeah, that's a great segue. Plug that. Dive. That's a great segue.
I mean, for my one podcast, Party on Broad, we have been doing nothing but NFL draft content. So we've done 10 mock drafts. We've done the perfect mock draft. We've done the worst case scenario mock draft. We've done the no trade mock draft. We've done the every pick trade mock draft. So we've literally done mock. For those about to rock, we salute you. That's it. I'm done.
Hey, all that so Howard Rosen can draft a kicker in the first round.
My goodness. Tiago, how about you, Tiago? You got anything to plug?
Not at the moment. I mean, we're going to be doing a lot of draft stuff coming up once Chris is done with all his NFL draft stuff.
Soon.
Forward to the Sixers. There's actually a lot of cool local prospects. Jeremiah Robinson, Earl Villanova guy, who I think would be a great fit with the Sixers. Stretch big, replacing the body of Mike Scott. So I think that would be exciting. So we'll see what that looks like in July.
That's not much of a body. Let's be honest. That's not much of a body to replace right now. Let's be real. But a replacement nonetheless. But guys, listen. Tonight was an interesting one for the Sixers. Obviously, it didn't work out in the Sixers' favor. But when you got Steph Curry shooting like that, what are you really gonna do? So Sixers go down 107-96. What's up?
I have a win. The Shang-Chi trailer. The Shang-Chi trailer was absolutely fire, man.
That's true. That was a good one. That was a good one.
That's a win for Marvel. That's a win for me.
By the way, go check that out on the channel. We got that trailer and Dibe's reaction on the channel. Great trailer. I watched it as well.
So good.
But yeah,
how do you find time? How do you find time to do this stuff?
He gets up very early and goes to bed late.
My dog has been sick, so I took off work today. She has Lyme disease. So I was home with her all day long. And sure enough, there was like a Shang-Chi trailer. Yeah, let's do a reaction. So it hit like 1,000 views or something crazy.
Damn.
Wow, man.
Well,
it's awesome.
All right, guys. We're gonna get out of here before we keep talking to the sports people about Marvel. Not everyone likes Marvel like we do in the sports environment. So we're gonna get out of here. Like I said, Sixers lose tonight, but you know what? We're gonna come back on Wednesday against the Suns. That's gonna be a big game. It's gonna be a fun game to watch. Devin Booker, Chris Paul, Ben Simmons, hopefully Tobias Harris, hopefully Joel Embiid, hopefully. We will see what happens. Guys. We will see y'all next time. Hope y'all have a great night, and we will leave you with this, fresh ad from our boy Dives.
Hey, what's up, guys? MLB baseball is in full swing. The NBA and NHL playoffs are right around the corner, and the NFL season is mere moments away. While we here at the Painted Lines are devoted to bringing you top-notch content from all the major sports, we are excited to also now give you the opportunity to cash in on all that content and knowledge. If you follow the link below, you will have the opportunity to sign up with BetRivers, an online sportsbook, and get an instant new user deposit match of up to $250. That's free money that you can use and try to turn into more free money. Let's go. Don't sit there and waste all that money. Turn every basket into an otherwise meaningless Cavs-Timberwolves matchup on a random Wednesday in March. That makes it all the more exciting. For betting tips and advice, be sure to check out written content from our top prognosticator, Money Max, on our website at thepaintedlines.com, or check out the Tough Cover podcast right here on the Painted Lines YouTube channel. You've seen the commercials all over TV and radio, but now is the time. Sign up today with BetRivers using the link below and start cashing in on your love for sports. Using the link below will automatically inform BetRivers that TPL